Today I'm going to be playing a Patreon deck from Bob the Warrior, and it looks like my patrons really just want me to play competitive wild decks this month, which is fine, I guess. This list here is like an Aggro Paladin with a Call to Arms package. The Call to Arms can hit Crab Rider, Bar Watchpost, Nerub'ar Weblord, and Shielded Minibot. I know Nerub'ar Weblord is a minion that sees a reasonable amount of play in Wild, but I don't really know what specifically we're targeting with it, but I'm sure it's reasonable. We've also got a small secret package with Sword of the Fallen, and then just some good Aggro Paladin cards, Conviction, Christology, Divine Favor. So let's see how it goes.
I will fight with honor. I will command the light.
So I'm definitely not keeping Redemption or Hand of It All. I think Call to Arms is probably going to be the best card in my deck. Probably don't keep Shielded Minibot. It's not even my best 2-drop in this deck. I'd rather hit Watchpost, maybe Crab Rider. I'd rather hit Righteous Protector, Christology. So we'd probably go Righteous Protector into Watchpost, into Minibot, plus Christology. So this is looking like Handbuff Paladin, which is apparently the best deck in Wild. I do think we have game in the matchup. This is actually a matchup where the Nerub'ar Weblord is probably pretty good. But we're mostly looking for Call to Arms. If we can hit Call to Arms into 1 or 2 Weblords, I think that's going to be a pretty good setup for winning the game. Let's just go Minibot and trade off the 1/1s. This Elven Archer doesn't really get great trades either place.
I wonder. Get me out of here!
At least my opponent's first day of school wasn't very good. Nice, Never Surrender. Protects my Watchpost. Seal of Champions. See what Christology can do for me. Let's just take this trade to Seal of Champions. Kinda wanted to go Crab Rider Seal next turn, but Crab Rider Hand of It All is still pretty good.
My blade seeks vengeance.
That's a bit of a disaster, but I guess the Crab Rider is still really good here. That's really strong. This does still have 3 targets, so it's pretty good here. Let's just play a Weblord. Could play Redemption here. It makes the Righteous Protector really obnoxious. But I don't know. It's a poor use of my mana. This Watchpost has been insane. I think I'm just gonna try to land Blessing of Kings on this Crab Rider next turn. Use the Divine Shield instead of trading health on my 4 health minions. So in theory, most of my opponent's cards could cost 5 extra mana here. That would be really obnoxious for them. Rebuke. That means I'm not going to be able to play Blessing of Kings next turn, unfortunately. Well, I still have a Web Lord. Really rough turn from me. I have seen both Crab Riders and Samuro, so not sure how easy it is for my opponent to respond to this board, but they have a million cards in their hand and they're still at 24 life, so I'm not in good shape here. Unless I manage to draw a Divine Favor or like some Convictions would be good.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Another Web Lord.
Reporting for duty.
So it looks like I can finally play Blessing of Kings on my Crab Rider. Maybe I don't though. Maybe I play it on the Nerub'ar.
Reporting for duty.
Probably play it on the Crab. And then we'll keep clearing the opponent's board. I'm not sure if I really need to be worried about buffs against that deck. I guess there's probably another Conviction, but I've seen two-hand of it all. And with all those buff cards, you probably don't want to be playing too many spells. So I think it's unlikely that they play Seal of Champions or Blessing of Kings. I definitely need to draw a buff card here, because sending a 5/5 Crab Rider into that 6/6 is not going to win the game. Crab Rider? Target the Crab Rider? Okay. Still targeted my minion. Hey, that's a good draw. I have 7 mana. Oh man, do I have lethal here? What does Hand of Adal draw into? I'd have 3 mana, so if it hits Seal of Champions, I could play it. Oh, my Yogg would also be good. Or I can just guarantee Oh My Yogg with Sword of the Fallen. I mean, I'm pretty sure I like always have lethal here with these Convictions. Yeah, I mean, this is just really straightforward. 6 over, 10 over, another 8. So yeah, my opponent was super dead there. Nice, we beat the best deck in the format.
Uther versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory. I will fight with honor.
Probably keep the watch post against Priest, right?
On wings of destruction they come.
Let's go for the early watch post. Sword is pretty good here too, but I think I can play it next turn. Not too worried about my opponent playing some sort of buff here. Oh, Fairy Dragon. I see. Well, then I guess we are protecting the watch post like this. Alright, well, I guess I got watch posted. That's fine. Go ahead and put damage on that, actually. Another redemption is nice.
Meddlesome insects.
Watch post never dies. Probably want to go ahead and get an anti-spell secret here. And I guess I have the Duskbreaker so the opponent can't value trade and then heal.
On wings of destruction they come.
So this Call to Arms hits double Crab Rider and a Web Lord. It's pretty good. Sword of the Fallen's also good here, because we can value trade into the 3-1, pull a nice secret. I think I prefer the sword.
For justice.
Because I want an anti. I'm just worried about getting wrecked by spells here, so having some secrets to block those is good. If I go like Call to Arms and have 6 minions in play, and then my opponent has like, you know, 1 mana spell and then Mass Hysteria or something, that's pretty disastrous. That's the delayed mind control thing, right? Yeah. Alright, so I'm not really worried about that at all.
For justice.
Let's just go ahead and do this. Get another Oh My Yogg in play. Could have played Conviction here, but I feel silly buffing this thing I'm giving to my opponent.
This is not what we stood for.
Alright, so let's see if these Crab Riders can kill my opponent here. I mean, I guess I just start with Conviction and see where the buffs land. Alright, so this Crab Rider can do 16 damage. Punch, 16. Not quite lethal. I just counted it like this and got lethal, but I didn't double check the math, so it's probably not. It was lethal. Nice. Alright, so I've actually played quite a few games with this deck. And I have a 66% win rate, so yeah, the deck is definitely just very solid. But I have identified a handful of cards that I think would be worth including. It seems very strange to me that we don't play First Day of School in this deck. First Day of School, in Standard at least, is insane. So I really wanted to include it, but then I thought, you know, maybe like First Day of School isn't as good in Wild because the random 1-drops are worse, or something like that. But the best deck in the format is Handbuff Paladin, which plays First Day of School, and it's the second best card off the mulligan in that deck. So it's probably worth playing in our deck. Granted, I mean, this has synergy with Handbuff cards. So, like, that's part of the reason that it's so good in that deck, I would imagine. But it seems like it's probably just a strong enough card that we should be playing it. It also seems really strange to me that we're not playing Avenge. We are playing 5 secrets. It's kind of hard for me to imagine that Never Surrender and Redemption are both better than Avenge. So I might be looking to go like 1 Redemption, 1 Avenge. a little bit more diversity of secrets, or maybe even just cut the redemption and go for Avenge. I'm not entirely sure, but Avenge is a really good secret, especially when it can be landing on Crab Rider. I guess it does kind of suck with Far Watch Post. Maybe that's the reason it's not so good in this deck, but I do want to try it out. And then the last two cards are just a couple of 2-drops that may or may not be better than what we're already playing. The first of them is going to be Murgurgle. Has a pretty similar stat line to Shielded Minibot, and with all the draw in this deck between Crystology, Call to Arms, Sword of the Fallen, I think it's going to be pretty easy to draw into Murgurgle Prime. The question really is just, is Murgurgle Prime on 8 enough to, you know, close out a game or swing a game that we would otherwise be losing? I'm not sure about that, but I think it's worth testing out. Maybe just over a Shielded Minibot. And then finally there is Injured Tol'vir. Just because it's really insane off of Call to Arms. I think I'm not going to include it right now, but if you found yourself in a meta where the Nerub'ar Weblords weren't doing much, then I think Injured Tol'vir is probably where you would go. But for now, I think the Weblords performed pretty well. So yeah, anyway, I want to find room for these first days of school. I actually didn't really love Crystology all that much, but the consistent card draw out of it is pretty nice, I guess. If you hit it on turn 1, it can give you a 2-drop, which is a nice little bit of a curve. So I guess we will probably keep it around. Actually, the card with the lowest draw and win rate, other than Secrets, which are obviously better than that because of Sword of the Fallen, the card with the lowest draw and win rate is Seal of Champions. And that does seem pretty consistent with my play with the deck. Seal of Champions did seem a bit underwhelming, so I think I'll try replacing those with First Day of School. But that could be a cut that I end up regretting. I'm also always just kind of down to cut one of Divine Favor. I just hate playing this card as a one of, but it definitely saves you in some games. So yeah, let's just try this version of the deck. Alright, it should be Murloc Shaman.
I will fight with honor.
Let's just play Righteous Protector on 1, and then mulligan for the good stuff. Sword of the Fallen is good stuff. Turn 3 Crab Rider, Coin Hand of Adal is also good stuff. Oh, it's even Shaman, okay. Even Shaman. So the little eel thing does 2 damage, right? So I could just like coin out Crab Rider here and then Hand of Adal at next turn. It's pretty aggressive, but maybe aggressive is good. My opponent could play like Rock Biter or something here, but I don't think that would be too strong. I don't think there's any reason to play the First Day of School here. Probably also not that much reason to not play it, but playing it gives my opponent information. Acros Veteran's pretty good on Crab Rider. Is Nerub'ar Weblord good against even Shaman? Probably is, right? Oh, Nerub'ar Weblord affects my minions too, huh? I guess the deck is just built with no battle cries, so that's not obvious. Well, they've drawn 2 Merc Spark Eels, which is spooky. Let's buff this one so it doesn't die to Maelstrom Portal. I don't know if they play Maelstrom Portal, but it seems like they would. Alright, not too much value out of that. Let's see if we can hit an Avenge here. Unfortunate. I guess I'm just gonna play a bunch of stuff here. I'm glad I put the 1 extra power on the Protector. Something that kills my opponent's board. That was not a good mutate for me. I'm in pretty bad shape here, unless I can pick up Call to Arms or Blessing of Kings, probably. Crystology is okay. I might hero power here instead of Weblord, just so I have more mana I can spend next turn.
Reporting for duty.
I don't know. I mean, if the Weblord didn't just get one shot by the 4/4 here, then obviously it would look a lot better. That pulls Avenge. That's pretty good.
Reporting for duty. For justice. The battle.
Call to Arms is still a good draw. Blessing of Kings, obviously good. Conviction, depending on the board state. No, don't hit my minion. Oh, that's so bad. Crackle. Alright, let's just rip that Murloc off the top. That'd be really good. Alright, that's good too.
For justice. Reporting for duty.
We are ahead on board. If my opponent drew an 8-mana card, it's not playable here. Alright, sure. Oh, now that's a draw.
Reporting for duty. The battle.
I'm not sure if this Divine Favor is ever active this game. Maybe if my opponent draws like a Crackle or something on a turn where it's not good. That's probably what I'm looking at.
Reporting for duty. The battle.
I guess I just dump this on the off chance that I can play Divine Favor on one of these turns. I don't want to have to dump a 4-mana spell. Should have bumped into the Healing Totem. It's good against specifically Flame Tongue Totem. But I gotta be honest, I forgot Flame Tongue Totem was 2 mana. I do feel like McGurgle Prime can win the game if I can ever find it. You fool. I get to play 3 mana, draw a card.
To battle. Reporting for duty.
That's a lot of totems. Oh, McGurgle Prime, why are you at the bottom? Yeah, that's good.
Didn't go as
Reporting for duty.
I can fix anything.
This would go into Cogmaster. These would value trade. This would be a 2/2. Probably save Storm's Wrath for McGurgle, I guess.
Let me think. I'm almost out of cards.
Why is it card number 30?
Reporting for duty. To battle.
Well, next turn is the first turn of the last, like, 7 where McGurgle Prime doesn't just win on the spot. But it might still just win, especially with double conviction in hand.
I'm out of cards.
Need some Rush Murlocs, hopefully. Yikes, and I'm overloaded, so I don't get my free Murloc here. I did get another McGurgle Prime, though. That's really good. So my opponent's only showing 9 damage. I guess I want to play Conviction here. If it lands on this Recruit, then I can trade. Could also protect this. Wow, I got really terrible buffs there. Okay, not overloaded, thank God. Although, maybe I would have rather my board got AoE'd again so I could play another McGurgle Prime next turn. Probably not, though. I'm not sure if my opponent wins by trading here. I'm also not sure that that was the right trade. That Searing Totem could have one-shot the 6/3, or the 10/3.
There is little time.
Well, I didn't think about it too hard, but I feel like my opponent had to have had better trades there. Alright, we got Rush this time. Oh, and Magic Fen, that could be good. No reason to play Conviction, I think. So we will make a 1/1. Yes, let's go Mergurgle. Rank 3.
Uther versus Gul'dan. Your soul shall be mine. I will fight with honor.
Well, none of those are good to keep. Crystology is okay. Crystology is actually surprisingly bad off the mulligan. I'm not even gonna play it here since I found Righteous Protector. Probably just go Weblord and then hopefully Crystology plus Crab Rider on 3. Sword. Sword is pretty good, but let's go Weblord. Weblord stops my opponent from playing... I can't even think of something they would play. Bolt and Neophyte. Oh, Watch Post. I did kind of just play right into Defile here. That's fine, though. Control Warlock probably doesn't play Defile, does it? Sense Demons.
For justice.
Never Surrender is a good one.
Your wish is my suggestion.
5 mana Zephrys. Wonder what they even got. Chaos Nova, maybe?
For justice.
I always get Oh My Yogg here, which is nice. So I probably don't really need to worry much about this Zephrys, honestly.
Reporting for duty.
Repent.
I'm just gonna totally disrespect that Zephrys card and pop the bubble on my Protector here. I mean, it seems very likely that it would be Chaos Nova or maybe like Holy Nova? Holy Nova sucks here though. Oh, Brawl, sure, that one makes more sense, but it just gets Oh My Yogg, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah. That could have been really bad still. Well, I don't know. 2 damage to my board wasn't much. Well, my opponent dealt with 1 Oh My Yogg. Can they deal with another? So do I play Mergurgle or make a recruit? Probably just make a recruit.
Reporting for duty.
Although I probably should have done math on this threatening lethal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, looks like Mergurgle wasn't going to be threatening lethal. No, my secrets. Beautiful. Not sure how likely that was to be lethal. Hitting Watch Post was really bad, hitting Crab Riders was insane. But I think with what happened I was like 5 over lethal, so that probably wasn't too lucky. Alright, so I played a little bit more with the deck after my initial climb with it. And after the changes, I actually didn't lose any games, so I think the changes were at least fine. But, what were the changes again? Mergurgle, Avenge, and First Day of School. I think I still stand by all of those changes. I think they're all pretty good. I could maybe see cutting the second Redemption for the second Avenge. But I do kind of like having a nice little variety of secrets. I definitely would not cut Oh My Yogg, and probably not Never Surrender. Having spells to protect your board is really important. Yeah, I'm not totally sure that Murgurgle over Shield and Minibot is the play. You could maybe cut, like... I don't know, I think you could probably even cut, like, a Crystology from this deck to play, like, the second Shield and Minibot, or maybe a Blessing of Kings. Maybe the Divine Favor. But I think I'm pretty happy with the list. As I said earlier, Nerub'ar Weblord is definitely a replaceable card, but it felt pretty reasonable in the meta. In my most recent game, my opponent had to play a 5-mana Zephyrus because of this and Watch Post. That was really nice. So yeah, I mean, I knew going into this that this was a competitive deck. I had competitive results, so can't really say too much about what we should do with it. But what I can say is thank you to Bob the Warrior for the deck and for the Patreon support.